Welcome to DWBIADDA channel. Please subscribe for latest training videos.
Hi everyone, today we are going to discuss about Azure App Service. This is going to be a continuation video for the Azure App Service, and if you remember in the previous video we have explained how to create an Azure App Service. So in this video we will be going to explain you how you can go and deploy an app service and how you can monitor your app service. So let's go into the portal.azure.com. So I'm here in the portal.azure.com and I'm here in the overview page of my Azure App Service which we created in the last video. So if you see that we have created this app service in the East US location and the app service status is been running, and I have an FTP path to FTP my deployment script, and I have an URL to access this app service. So let's go into this URL of this app service, and if you see this, the app service is been up and running, but whatever we are seeing here is the default page that's been provided by Microsoft for this app service. So let's go and deploy something into this app service. So before that, when we created this app service, we take .NET Core 3.0 as a runtime. So for that, I need a .NET Core application to be there in somewhere in my repository. So let me go into my Git repository. So here I have an sample ASP.NET Core Hello World application. So let me go into the source code of this page and show what's there in this ASP.NET Core application. So it's a simple MVC application. So let me go into the view of this ASP.NET Core Hello World application. So inside the home folder, I have an index.chhtml page. So if I view into this index.chhtml page, so it have a text box to capture a name, and it will be displaying the same into the page. So it will have a label of what is your name, and it will capture a text of your name, and it will be displaying the name into this same page using a JavaScript function. So let's go and deploy this into our app service. So in the left side blade, I can see something called a deployment center. So let me go into the deployment center. So the deployment center is being loaded. So here I can see something called a CA and CD. A CA and CD is nothing but a continuous integration and your continuous delivery, right? So I can go and set up a CA and CD for this app service. So first it will expect a repository where your code is being residing. So you can take your code from multiple repository like an Azure repo or a GitHub or a Bitbucket, or from your local repository. So in this case, my repository is in the GitHub, and I'm going to select the GitHub. So, and if I already been authenticated with my GitHub, and I can select two options here for the build provider, either an app service build service or an Azure pipeline. So if you're going to select an Azure pipeline, it will go and create a CA and CD in your Azure DevOps. So in this case, I'm going with an app service build service, and just go and select continue. So first it will expect an organization. So an organization is nothing but if you are working in an Azure repository or a GitHub repository, before keeping your repository, it will expect an organization where you want to keep your repo. So in my case, I will be selecting my organization, and I'll be selecting my repository. So if you see that my repository is been loading on this organization, I have only one repository inside this organization. That's an ASP.NET Core Hello World application. And I'll be going to select a branch. So here I'll be going to select a master branch. So in a Git, you will be having, you can able to create different feature branch and bug branch. So, and you need to select which branch you want to deploy. So in this case, I will be going to select a master branch. So let me go and continue and finish this task. So it will take a while to set up your deployment. What it is basically doing in the background, it is going to compile your .NET Core application and publish and push it into the .NET into this app service. So if you see that my status is been pending, so it is in the background, it is compiling the application and running the deployment command. So, and here you can go and see your repository URL and which branch you are going to be deploying into this app service. So let's go and refresh this test app URL and see whether my deployment is being succeeded or not. Let me go and refresh this test app URL. So the deployment is being succeeded now. I can see the Hello World application is being loading into this test app URL. And you can see there is a welcome page and there is a text box over there, and I can go and type something over there and it will be going to display on here. So the perfect, so our app is been deployed and I can able to view that in my test app URL. So, and if you have some few more changes in your application, so let me go into this Hello World application. So here you can see what is your name. So I have a instead of a name, so let me go and edit this changes in my Git repository. So instead of the what is your name, so what is so I need the name need to be, I need to remove that name. So instead of name, let me put what is your first name. So I make a change here and I will be in a Git. You will, if you make any change, you will need to go and commit the change. So let me go and commit this change. So I'm going to commit that into the master branch, right? So my changes are being committed. So I want to reflect that in my new whatever in the app service. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sync that changes into this app in the Azure app service. So it will go and to sync that change into my app service. If you see that there is two build is being happen into this repository. The first is succeeded, and the first is now in succeeded, and another one is in active. So and it say there is an update in the index.cshtml page. So let's go and refresh our URL and see whether it is been reflecting. So if you see that it's been reflecting here, what is your first name? All right, so now we'll go and see about the what all the monitoring options in the Azure App Service plan. So if you see here in Azure App Service, there is an option called an application insight. So let's try to understand what is an application insight from a docs.microsoft.com. So I'm here in the docs.microsoft.com with the application insight. So application insight is a feature of Azure monitoring, is an extendable application performance management. So it is nothing but it will go and capture your application telemetric details, and you can export that in form of alert or a Power BI or in a Visual Studio or in a REST API. And it's not necessary to this application to be hosted in an Azure. You can still go and capture your application insight using an application insight. So now let's go into the portal and see where you can go and turn on this application. So while creating this app, I didn't turn on the application insight, but I can go and turn on now. Here in the left side slide, I can see an option called an application insight, and I will be going to turn on this application insight. And it will expect a resource name for your application. So I'll be good with the default name what it is provided here, and it expects a location, and I'm just going to apply this change. And it's creating an application insight in the background, and it will take a while to create the application insight. So if you see my application insight, it's been set up, and I can see that application insight. I can go and enable or disable this application insight so that it can go and collect the application monitoring data using the application insight. So let me go into this view application insight data. So, and I can see few metrics over here in the application insight, like what is my failed request, or what is my server response time, or what is my availability. So I can go and add this, keep on adding this metrics, and you can view for different duration, like 30 minutes, last 30 minutes, or even for a last 30 days, right? So if I, right now it's a sample application, so I don't have any failure request over here, but I can still monitor my application inside this application inside, what all the requests coming in and what is the response time and what all the failure requests, right? So that's all about this video about an app deployment and an application insight. So we will come up with more Azure resource in the upcoming video. Thank you.